Please join me in welcoming Marilyn Tan, please. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I guess after break, you should be a little bit more perked out because of the coffee, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast or brunch. Yeah, I am actually very excited to be here. One of the key things is because I get to see people who have not seen probably for the past 2 years, and also kind of catch up, right, with ecosystem partners as well. So in today's session, I really hope to kind of share the insights, what we are seeing, how we bring the value of data into organization, helping you to realize this data value realization. And one of the things that I guess all of you being the CDOs as well, you would have already experienced for the past 2 years as you actually brave through the pandemic itself. There's this piece of how acceleration of the digital transformation has taken place in your organization, not only at work, but as well as how we live and play, right? A lot of times I think the coexistence of work-life balance is totally at home. And again, what is important besides the digitalization and digital transformation is we still see a key challenge in terms of how you can get access to the data to help your organization to continue to be successful during the past 2 years. And what we do in Snowflake is to realize the simplification of data accessibility. I think data accessibility is different kind of explanation, whether you are an organization that is building on-prem or actually already in the cloud journey. But what Snowflake does is really to make sure that we answers some of the key challenges. And we always see that data silos continues to prevent your value realization for the business. And 90% of the IT leaders continue to find that data silos exist everywhere in their organization, whether they are building application or whether they're actually journeying through a cloud modernization arena. But at the same time, 87% of the IT leaders also felt that they do not only want to actually use their own organization data, they want to get access to third-party data. Third-party data continue to be very, very important because during this time, you really want to understand what's the COVID pandemic itself has been impacting your business and how you can actually respond, right, to these immediate business needs. And that's how the Snowflake Data Cloud comes into a rapid adoption during these past 2 years. What we have seen is like the data cloud is really unlike any of the application cloud or the infrastructure cloud you have heard and known about, right? Importantly, this data cloud to us as a Snowflake definition is a global network. Why is it a global network? Because we create these network effects itself to unify the data accessibility for you, connecting companies and also data providers to the most critical and relevant system for your business and your mission. And we want you to really reimagine how the data management it is going to be in a public cloud environment. The idea is very straightforward. It is actually not redoing what you're doing today as a data platform, but importantly, because of the promises of the cloud modernization, you will have huge amount of data volumes that is untapped. And at the same time, with this data that is being stored in a repository, you want to also have the ability to access it quickly with the highest performance when you need to scale it. And again, right, what we think about when our founders founded Snowflake is that we want this to be utility model. That is a key difference. A utility model in the cloud, meaning that you will only pay for what you use, and at the same time provide you that fast elasticity, ultimately making it really easy for you as a customer or even digital chief data officers to drive digitalization within your organization. The ease of use comes with you not having to manage the infrastructure by yourself. Look at a little diagram that we actually built for within Snowflake to kind of demonstrate how these network effects of data is built out within Snowflake customers. In April 2020, the visualization graph really looks like a small little specks and dots, right? The outer ring with a small little dots kind of show you that how data is being collaborated among data providers and data consumer. Past 2 years, January 2022, we see these great network effects. And this great network effects is cutting across different kinds of businesses, verticals, public sector, private sector. As you see that it looks really like, I sometimes like to call it jellyfish, the jellyfish effect of springing out to many different data consumer comes from the fact that Snowflake is actually the de facto platform for a lot of those customers who feel that their business runs a lot faster, more nimble with the way how we can securely allow data accessibility to their data consumer. The outer ring kind of depicts to you how we have actually accelerated data sharing within an organization and their partners. And this won't be possible without the supports of 5,000 over customers that Snowflake has today, right? And these customers coming from all different segments, as I shared to you, from technology companies to financial services to public sectors and also manufacturing and supply chain business. One of the key important things is when they adopt Snowflake, they really see the benefits of the data cloud. Importantly, the data accessibility is being addressed within the organization as the first-party data of the data sources that you have, and also the ecosystem partners that they work with. During the pandemic, there are so many ecosystem partners that they need to collaborate data and share the business insight. These ecosystem partners can actually go through a private data exchange as a second party. The third-party data is the one that they want to acquire, and they want to acquire in near real time without having to redo the entire ETL process. Yet again, for Snowflake, we provide you a very simple, straightforward governance capability to understand and know your data, to protect your data, and ultimately you can use the data with your data consumer. And what we help you achieve from the data team's perspective is, creating valuable works with your data teams for them to drive actionable insights. For the Snowflake platform, we are a SaaS provider. It's actually a consumption-based platform. And what is important down here is that our platform itself supports many different kinds of data workloads that you are seeing today in your organization. We are able to process your structured to semi-structured, unstructured data. Even though now, what we have seen is that customers continue to have a lot more semi-structured data than really unstructured data, which is kind of interesting because when you get access to open standard data sets, it is very straightforward for even your data consumer to use it directly on Snowflake. Don't have to actually go through a very steep learning curve. And if they would love to build a data application on top of it, it is something that your internal team already has the skill set. And we are actually available on the cloud service provider within Singapore, on the AWS and Azure platform. So again, what you think about is the uniqueness of Snowflake. How about looking at it in this way, the elastic performance that you can get? I always try to tell customers the elastic performance doesn't mean that it's always scaling up. The elastic performance is really a single engine itself for every single type of data workload. In the context of this, I don't think it's even possible to achieve it on-prem. It is really one single engine for your data application, data engineering workload, your data warehouse. And what we are seeing of as well is a performance of concurrency. Like I mentioned, if you want to scale up, it's very easy. You just have to pay for more compute in the cloud and you scale up. But again, when customers has a need to actually scale down, that is the portion that Snowflake does instantly as well. In both ways, I think this helps the customers to really pay for what they use when they need it. And ultimately, it support the widely adopted SQL-based skill set. You don't have to have your own data team to relearn everything. Most of the database administrator already have this skill set and able to perform their job very well. And because it's a SaaS platform, the intelligent infrastructure and the automation we built within the platform itself, leveraging our cloud services that is fully managed by Snowflake, right? And what it is fronting to the customers is really using it through the application front end. So we are able to, at the same time, provide you your high availability and also reliability. This is a very key thing for customers today when they're thinking about data management in the cloud. And we are able to do this really near zero maintenance for your cloud team and your data team. And what is unique about us is because we are able to present a snow grid. If a customer that has a global, a rollout, we can actually assist in different cloud environment. You will still use the same single Snowflake experience to actually and have, going to the location and the region and country for the data access. And that is also very, very strongly governed by the geolocation locality of your data. And why SnowGrid is important is because we allow for this data accessibility direct from one region to the other region without you having to redo your ETL, the extract, transform, and load of the data. You know that, as I heard earlier in the conversation, most of the time we spend a lot in data preparation, making sure the data quality is good. But again, this is actually not required if, let's say, you have a single Snowflake in a SnowGrid environment. So what is the value proposition that we bring to you? Is we take away all these rudimentary tasks. Building a data management platform itself is tedious. Having to really tune, optimize, making sure that all these infrastructure requirements being met by your own cloud team or your infra team is going to be really tedious, but we are not going to take away the job. Don't worry about it. We're actually helping them to bring higher value to their work, right? It is really focusing on the content. What are the contents that are very important to the business? Working with your business user, forming your DevOps or data ops operations more efficiently, landing the data accessibility with self-service analytics in the hands of the data domain owners. And that will help you realize your data fusion across the business. Not forgetting, as going to the cloud, a lot of us will still kind of think about cloud security, right? We are always very mindful of this, and we've always been asked by customers, how do you address it? Again, this will not be something fairly new to all. The security governance is multi-layered and is at multiple levels. We also adopt a shared data responsibility. Snowflake don't actually get to see your data, you own the data. What we do is we make sure that the services that we build within Snowflake will actually be well secured and providing you the security and encryption needed. And we will always be 100% transparent. We give the customers the rights to access to our attestation report, and we are also governed by the highest stringent standard of information security across different kind of certifications that you have already seen. And this differentiator that we've seen within Snowflake is very much unique for us, is largely because we have a built-in disaster recovery. Every chief digital and data officer, even CIO itself, they will think about backup disaster recovery. Do you want to do it active-active? Do you want to do it active-passive? This is not, do you want to do it? For Snowflake, it is always there for you. The resiliency is cutting across 3 different layers, whether it's compute, storage, or even metadata. We have a built-in capabilities to replicate this data across 3 different unique data centers in the cloud regions that we are at. For example, AWS in Singapore, we actually do replicate across 3 different data centers. So you don't have to rethink about your disaster recovery. You know that your data will always be on. In the event that we do any patches and downloads of updates, these are actually near zero impact to you. So there isn't any downtime. So it's fully managed by Snowflake. Again, protecting your data is important. We provide this kind of end-to-end encryption as well. And in the event that you need to build into your security posture, these are the fully audited reports that you can actually extract out. One of the things that customers always ask, can I export the data out from Snowflake if I decided not to continue with Snowflake? Of course you can. It is an open standard platform. This open standard platform itself allows you to really make sure that you get access to the data, you own the data, you make sure that this data is fully encrypted into your security process and governance process. And we give you the role-based access control that is so stringent itself that it will not deviate from your current multi-factor accessibility as well. It gives you a very much easier, simplified experience. And again, highlighting the governance piece to know and understand your data, protecting your data itself, really unlock the true value of data for your organization. And customers who has actually been with us has actually talked about the significant benefits, right? Importantly, the growth in terms of competitive advantage is really huge, 84%, and across it itself, they actually save 97% of the cost because they no longer need to manage the infrastructure. They can really do the data projects very quickly, and they can manage the risk with a single governance posture. And what we're seeing down here, we actually do provide a total economics impact of using Snowflake. And this is a report that you can acquire, and it's joint publication with Forresters. Next, I would like to go into the customer story. A customer story is that I think close to your heart. California Department of Technology, what they have done during the pandemic, when the pandemic itself hit, CDT need to really marry 10 different agencies' data for a population of 39.5 million in US. And it's actually populous as well as the third largest state in the US. And how can they achieve this COVID-19 dashboard that is really near real-time information across whether it's going to be your vaccination, the COVID testings, and so on and so forth? It's only done through the same data sharing capability. They are able to quickly build a dashboard. They instantiate the environment within a day. Within a week, they can pull in the automation tool and ultimately build these near real-time reports for everybody to use it. And what is important to them is they are able to share this data with the agencies who has a Snowflake account. That makes it so much more simpler for the rest to actually understand and analyze the data. It is a platform they invested then. It is a platform they invested for the future. The GIO and manager of the data and geospatial office, he actually highlighted this is really something that they will provide for as long as they could bring about these multi-data sources through multi-agency support. And not forgetting, we are not just a platform by ourselves. We need an ecosystem of partners to work together with us. And these ecosystem partners that you'll be seeing, it is today the tools that you're continuing to use. So we make sure that we thrive together to help you realize the value of data in your organization in an ever-expanding ecosystem. And I hope that you benefit from the sharing from us. And we love to kind of have a conversation with you. You're right outside at the door. Feel free to come and chat with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. I think there's a Slido question, if not for you. So you may want to take this question. How does Snowflake manage address concerns of fourth-party risks from their clients?
Okay. Fourth-party risk from their clients, meaning in terms of the data access providers. Okay, so what we do is that we have close to about 1,200 listings on a Snowflake data platform. If you talk about data providers that is with us, directly the data providers are contracting with the customers, right? Fourth-party risk in terms of data anonymization, data tokenization will still be at the hands of the data providers and to work with the data consumers who subscribe to the data. And these are the conversations that you still have to continue to have with the data providers. However, Snowflake will eventually have the ability for you to subscribe to the data provider's data set directly onto Snowflake through the platform so that, it is almost to you a data marketplace approach seamlessly through your subscription with Snowflake. So again, right, the risk itself is more towards your conversation in terms of the legal approach and that you have to take between both parties.
Thank you, Marilyn. Another round of applause for Marilyn. Thank you, everyone.